big, big, big day here at the Church of Elvis, Even More Latter-day Saints, which I'm the founder, pastor, spiritual advisor of. Even more Latter-day Saints is the key today. If you watched my third video on this groundbreaking channel, and it only has 7 views, so if you're still with me, thank you. Thank you so much. I said that in the year 2022, the year of our Lord, I would be announcing our first, what I called blessed, which is the Even More Latter-day Saints. And that's what I'm going to do today. This is why I do this channel. It takes immense analytics, spiritual exercises, the focus and meditation skills of 100 Buddhist monks to cross these individuals into the threshold, to cross that threshold into infinity of this channel. And today I'm going to announce one. And you're thinking, when you see this name, you're going to be thinking, well, that's an obvious choice. Well, you know what? Out of respect for those who will also be crossing this threshold, I had to put in the work. Had to put in the work. And you're probably on the edge of your seat at work, distracted, thinking, Rev, just tell me who it is, man. Stop wasting my time. Let's get to it. Get to the meat. You're at some airport in a tower landing airplanes. You're pushing tin, baby. We're going to do a brief biography on this person, a brief description of my favorite album, probably I would say their defining album. And we're going to talk about some of the stuff around that pressing, the accoutrement, if you will, that goes on with that pressing. But without further ado, and that will be the last French word I use in this video, today's blessed announcement is Sonny Sherock. Can you see it? Oh my God. Now again, you're probably thinking, that's super obvious, but I had to put in the work. I put in the work. I'm not an expert on the man's life. Brief biography. He was born in 1940, I believe, in New York. The New York part I know. He worshipped, growing up, his idol was John Coltrane. And he wanted to be a saxophonist, but because of some asthma, there were limitations on his ability to chase that dream. So what did he do? He didn't give up. He picked up a guitar, and he jokingly referred to himself as a saxophone player on a bad axe. And if you listen to him and you hear that phrase, it makes sense. I don't know all the chord attack style that he did. It was pretty sophisticated, and he was mimicking a saxophone. But it's important to know that cool kids, cool cats call guitars axes. I'll link below more of a description, maybe an Urban Dictionary link. But that's what the cool people call a guitar, an axe. Next time you're at your Imagine Dragons concert, point to the guitarist and be like, that guy's shredding on his axe. And look at your friend. Your friends will be blown away. They'll buy you a beer. Or maybe Liquid Death. I don't even know if they have a guitar. Enjoy the show, though. He wasn't just a pioneer as a free jazz player on the guitar. He was a pioneer too, and influenced greatly the experimental music scene, the experimental rock. There was this jazz punk scene, punk jazz scene. Yeah, that was real. Briefly, was part of that. But he was very influential on a lot of the bands I loved when I was a wee Rev, and I would say the late 80s. In fact, I learned about Sonny Sherock in this album when it came out in 91, Askey Ages. I think I learned it either from Mike Watt of Minutemen fame and other amazing projects, or Lee Ronaldo of Sonic Youth. I know both of them were fans, and I just remember that time, and I went out and got the CD. It wasn't vinyl. Askey Ages was produced by Bill Laswell, and he's a very interesting character, an important figure in the history of music, if you're interested. He really has a unique approach of what they call collision music, where he just gets different people from all different genres, brings them in, and just produces something special. And he has a long discography, let me tell you. But on this, he was a huge fan of Sonny Rock, and he coaxed him out to do some sessions. And this, Askey Ages, came out in 1991. The lineup on this is just incredible. And Sonny must have been over the moon when they got Elvin Jones and Pharoah Sanders, guys that played with his idol, to be on this. And Sonny, although being a free jazz musician, really was blown away by Miles Davis's use of space, the modal, and the spiritual, and the pushing and the journey of John Coltrane's music. The bass player is very important. Shawnette Moffett. Yeah, I was just thinking about this. He must have been like 13 when he played on this album. He was very young. This combination of these musicians with Sonny's guitar playing is incredible. 5-star, A+ album. Promises Kept. Pharoah Sanders. I'm a big Pharoah Sanders fan, but so there's a bias here. Pharoah Sanders is after it at go. And the interplay, and when you hear them say that Sonny Sherock is a saxophone player and a guitarist, it makes sense on that song. The exchanges that they do, the way they're hearing each other. But I gotta say, Moffat's bass playing throughout the groove, throughout the song, but even in his solo, the time changes are so classy and so exceptional. It's just one of the greatest bass performances of modern jazz. It just is. He does do a ballad, famous ballad, if you like this album, Who Does She Hope to Be? And you can really feel the blues and the soul of John Coltrane, who I think was his main influence on this track. It's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I think Little Rock is one that stands out to a lot of people, and it should. But as we used to sing, the fifth, second to last track is my personal favorite because it really does feel like a Pharoah Sanders organized track. I'm not saying he did, but it's got that chaos above and below that melodic trance-like groove that you can't ignore. And Elvin Jones and Moffett on there are just beautifully in sync. Not necessarily playing off each other, but playing together and both adding this rain and trance. It's like multiple thunderstorms going on at the same time in the background. And Pharoah and Sonny are just the chaos on top of it. It's just great. I highly, highly recommend this album. I want to keep this review brief on this. This is a groundbreaking album. Now, this is a Vinyl Me Please pressing from 2001. It's the only vinyl pressing I own of this or I've ever owned. It goes for stupid money on the aftermarket. I think it was limited to 2,000 copies. It's on the Axiom label, but now I think that's been, maybe it was a subsidiary of Island. I don't recall the Island logo being on the label as it is now. I'll have to go back and look at my CD. But there's something I gotta say. That came out in 2001. January, I believe. That was back when you weren't sure if you were going to get your record from Vinyl Me Please. It was literally, where's my vinyl, please? I opened it. I remember opening this record and all my records for like 2 decades with this tiny, stupid, worthless Swiss Army knife. This was before we had James, the $79 blade that you can open your records with purpose. And I'm embarrassed to look back and think, I was like some kind of goddamn gorilla opening my records back then, not even thinking about it. Just like, open record, put on record. I was some kind of monster. And now I'm being told I can open my records with purpose. Just using this little tiny pathetic weapon from the Swiss. I just feel so empty. But I will tell you, Vinyl Me Please, I will buy 100 of those James Blades. If you stop doing shit like this. This is a Strokes album. It's a good Strokes album. It's not a great Strokes album, but it's good. But why? Why the tricolor? We want to put a propeller on that? It's like a hat? I mean, the Patsy Cline one coming out? The legendary, wonderful Patsy Cline that has just been released. It looks hideous. Colored country vinyl, there's just something so weird about it. But I just wanted to confess that I opened this legendary record with a split seam when it came. I was just a commoner then. I was just a commoner. But the music wasn't common. So thank you, Vinyl Me Please, for putting this unbelievable record out. This was a gem. This is one of the gems. I go way back with y'all. And this was probably the highlight of my subscription. So thank you for that. And I hope you like my selection for the Blessed. I want you to have a great rest of the week. I got to do some stuff. I don't think I'm going to be able to do a video for the rest of the week, but Sunny Sherock, welcome. Have a great week.